Guys, welcome to the channel. I want to introduce you to Jon Park. So Jon Park and I go way back. No, I'm just kidding. We met a little bit ago, and
Yeah.
he actually commented on one of the YouTube videos. And so he has over 8 years of sobriety. And so I reached out to see if he wanted to come on the channel to share some of his wisdom because I think it's really important to hear from people who have gone through the ringer, who have succeeded, and who are living a life clean and sober. So first question, Jon, is what addictions did you deal with?
Predominantly, it was alcohol and cannabis, but I would have got addicted to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I had addictions with online games. I had addictions with exercise. Uh, I would have been addicted to anything, even food and sugar and stuff like that.
Okay.
All sorts of addictions, because the root problem is the exact same, Joel. The root problem is unresolved issues within oneself. If I mean, not everybody might agree with me on this one, but I think a lot of addictions stem from childhood trauma in my case.
Mhm.
So a lot of other people, it's like there's always a void there we're trying to
Yeah.
fill,
Yeah.
and that can be anything. It can even be sex or relationships, even. So I had all these issues, but I'm blessed that I opened myself up to a higher power, which is God, the universal consciousness, which
Cool.
permeates the whole universe. I'm quite a deep guy, so but I've got a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, I
I'm in my
was
40s now,
okay. Nice. I'm the same as
so
you. I
so
believe in the universe and how and that
yeah,
whole premise. I'm not big on the whole God thing, but again, as you know, you don't have to choose. There's not one specific higher power. You can
yeah,
pick anything you want. Literally, it could be a
yeah,
doorknob as long as it's not you and your own ego.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I like to be straight to the point. I'm Scottish originally, so I'm a very straight talking guy. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I talked to you about childhood trauma and that. I came from a very rough city.
Mm.
I came from Glasgow
Okay.
originally. In my
Well,
generation, it was a very rough place to be.
okay.
So a lot of stuff I've seen. So I can't sugarcoat anything in this life. So
If you wouldn't mind sharing, what were maybe a couple of those big moments, those childhood moments that really you think drove you to want to use?
I the area I was brought up in, Glasgow, had a really high homicide rate. Had issues with drugs, alcohol, delinquency. Yeah, I saw quite a lot of violence. I saw outside the home, but I saw a little bit inside the home. My father, God rest his soul, he was a very very tough guy. So he was a disciplinarian,
Okay.
and it really affected me. So when I got sober, I had to address these issues, the childhood trauma and stuff like that. So my whole family was a tough family, working class. So a lot of stuff can affect you, but unconsciously you can repress it or suppress these emotions.
Hmm.
So there has to be an outlet. You're either going to self-destruct, or you're going to use substances or toxic behaviours to mask the pain. So I'm a mental health worker as well. So I work with people in addiction myself. So I'm passing on my wisdom
Oh,
and that.
nice.
So I've got a first-hand experience
Yeah.
from myself personally,
Hmm.
and from working with people in addiction as well. So
That's very cool. And John, I'm happy you brought up childhood trauma because it's something that I
mm,
haven't talked too much about because, and I don't think a lot of it doesn't get talked about much in the mainstream because it's a very triggering
mhm,
thing. And you're
mhm.
100% right. Like it all stems down to those core things that happen in our childhood. And
Yeah,
obviously there's other stuff too, like maybe biology
mhm,
plays a role. However, I do think that those experiences as a kid really affect us. And I experienced,
yeah,
just like you, some pretty traumatic things that I mean, I like how you said that. I just want to fill that hole. I want to fill that void. with
Yeah.
anything. And it can be anything.
Yeah.
It can be, I mean, I'll be straight up. Like I eat this cereal, it's this keto cereal, and I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I am
Good
hooked.
choice.
It's right, but it still does that. It still brings up the same things and
Yeah.
stuff. So